They ask yourself, what's a groundhog? If the groundhog sees his shadow, what they say? 6 more weeks or whatnot? Can you believe you white folk can be that silly? With all them cameras out, when it comes out the ground, that thing couldn't help but see a damn shadow. And if the groundhog sees a shadow, 6 more weeks of winter. And to think, I wanted to go to school with y'all. When you get home, take out your calendar. Spring is March the 21st. Count from February the 2nd to March 21st. That is 6 weeks. Mr. Martin Luther King had, because this was serious. This was serious. We sit and talk about the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, and all them thugs owned people. So what could come out of that? That's why we out here still working. And even George and Franklin, they couldn't trick the universe. They said, well, we own slaves, so we can't be a symbol of liberty. So the colored brother said, boss, why don't you get that bell and hit it and let that be a symbol of liberty. You can trick me, you can trick you, you can come up with all kinds of trick laws, but you can't trick the universe. They hit that bell in Philadelphia, bang, and the bell cracked all the way from the bottom to the top. That's the symbol of liberty when it's been put together by some tricky people. And that's why you got to keep working on it.
Dick Gregory on the Keep It Moving show. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are on the planet. Welcome to Magnificent Mondays here on elifemedia.net. It's the Keep It Moving show too, and I am your girl, the KIM. Thank you so much for logging on. I want to shout out everybody on WWW land. Also shouting at everybody on Facebook Live, everybody else on Instagram Live and Twitter. What up though? I'm your host, the KIM, and man, it's been a long ass week. And so we're going to go through some of that, and we're also going to talk about the upcoming week. So I appreciate you. If you guys want to holler at me and conversate with me in the studio, converse. Pardon me. With me in the studio, 240-455-5934. One more time, that's 240-455-5934. We are the ultimate media outlet, and I am the ultimate chick on the video scene. I am the KIM, and again, welcome to the Keep It Moving show. Yeah. All right. Before we get started, what I want to do is shout out to everybody in Houston, everybody in Corpus Christi, and everybody in the southeastern part of the state of Texas. Right now, it must look like they're going through what may be a disaster of biblical proportions. I mean, I think when Noah may have been, you know, that story in the Bible about Noah and his ark and getting all the animals together, you know, which, you know, that's not true. It's not true. I mean, you just can't have elephants and tigers and bears and eagles and stuff on the same thing, inhabited together. It just, anyway, keep it moving. But anyway, if anything, I think Noah was looking at something like this when he built his ark, because Houston, Corpus Christi, all around southeastern part of Texas is getting hit really bad. And the hurricane, which started out as a Category 4 with winds, I think, up to 155 miles. I mean, not even wind gusts, just wind in general. It's bad, and it's still raining there. It's going to be raining there for another few days. People are stranded. This is almost like what happened when Katrina was going on, and I was actually on air as Katrina was going on as well. That was a really emotional time. So anyway, shout out to my man, Nate. What up, Nate? Hope you're having a good morning, and everybody else that's logged on to the Keep It Moving show. So again, I want to shout out everybody in southeastern part of Texas, and Louisiana is getting hit as well. We have a information packed show today, so I'm going to keep it moving. But once again, shout out to everybody down south, and I hope everything gets better for you guys really, really soon. And I hope the water start receding so you guys can get to clean up. You know what? Bubba's in the house with me this morning, as well as Shy Blizzy. Yeah, Shy Blizzy. Shy Blizzy is like the new engineer up in here. Let me see if I can show you guys Shy.
What's going on, y'all? What's up, man?
Yeah, yeah. And then of course, you know, Big Bub is over in the house over there. You know, he don't like none of y'all. You know what it is. So I appreciate you. Janessa, good morning. Hope you're having a great day. And so what I want to do, since today is a very, very informative day on the Keep It Moving show, we really have to keep it moving so that we can get all of this stuff in. And man, my camera doesn't want to stay up.
Yes, you can light the candle.
Yay! Let's light it. Oh man, if you guys were on air, thank you, Bub. If you guys were on air, you would see this magnificent candle. As a matter of fact, let me show Facebook Live. Let me show WWW Land first. So beautiful. Check this out. Check this out. This is so beautiful. I would like a couple of these for my show, and I will also like a couple of these for my massage studio as well. And I actually have a contract coming up with the Congressional Black Caucus doing work with the homeless down at the Central Mission in Northeast DC, and I'll be providing seated massages for the homeless down there next month. So thank you much. This is the second time they invited me back, so I'm actually really, really honored to have them invite me back. So you know, NBK Massage, it does sponsor my video show as well. One day I'll have a commercial. Yeah, me and Shy Blizzy, we gonna make that happen. So anyway, keep it moving. I also want to say happy birthday to my brother-in-law, Jay. His name is Javis Pratt, and his twin brother, Tavis. Javis and Tavis. So happy belated birthday to them. They had a wonderful time down in Miami kicking it. And so happy birthday to them, and wishing you guys many, many, many more great birthdays. I also want to shout out my two nephews, 5 years old. They're getting ready to go to kindergarten. Yay! They are the best. They're the cutest. And Auntie loves you guys. And this is going to be just the start of brilliance in your lives and sown into your lives. And Auntie can't wait to teach you all about Black history. Yes! So shout out to my little nephews, Kimu Jr. and Kaiden, and I love you guys, and I'm looking forward to you guys' first day in school. Also, I want to shout out everybody else that's on their way back to school. And on commercial time, it says it's the most wonderful time of the year, and they have all the parents jumping around and, you know, happy because the kids is going to school. So today's soundtrack is going to be Dick Gregory clips. Normally I always do hip hop because I am hip hop. So, you know, I like the whole old school thing. I like new stuff too. But on the Keep It Moving show too, I do a lot of old school hip hop because it's an ode to who I have become in my life. I am hip hop, and I agree with self-help, wealth, and knowledge of self. And I subscribe to that, and I subscribe to it because KRS-One and Chuck D and Eric B and Rakim and EPMD and all the rest of them, Latifah, MC Light, Salt and Pepper, all of them, Kid and Play, Chubb Rock, Special Ed, all of them, X-Clan, Jungle Brothers, Tribe Called Quest, all of them taught me, and that's why I am who I am today. So shout out to hip hop. Oh, I forgot the master rapper Jalil. I love me some Houdini. But anyway, we're keeping it moving. When we come back, I know you guys saw the fight this weekend. We're going to talk about it a little bit, and then we're going to keep it moving. I told you it's an information-packed day on the Keep It Moving show. 2 hours on the Keep It Moving show. And when we come back, let's talk about Money Mayweather. It's the Keep It Moving show.
From this government tapping my phone. I never had to pay a bill. Someone said, how you know the government's tapping your phone? In 1963, I said, anytime a Negro can owe Bell Telephone $75,000 and they don't cut the phone off, it's tapped. The phone company would call me, Mr. Gregory, y'all care to pay anything on the bill this year? You know, but you know, we must not just think about the freedom of speech, but just the freedom of thought, the freedom of being able to think, the freedom to be able to read. This country will not survive another 3 years just gripped with fear. Fear is a gift from God. It's supposed to last a second. You hear something, you're frightened, you run through a plate glass window, you don't get cut. But it's not supposed to last long. A woman sees the car fall on the baby, she picks up the car and takes the baby off. Fear. That was the biggest problem I had when I got married to my wife 43 years ago. Somebody said, 43 years? Love ain't got nothing to do with it. She said, if you ever leave me, I'll hurt you. Hurt will keep you home a long time. And there's another word to keep you home. Michael Jordan just found out about called half. But that was the biggest problem I had when I first got married. My wife couldn't handle fear. She said she couldn't handle debt. When we gonna pay Sears and Roebuck? You act like we got some money. We don't have no money. And when I get some money, Sears and Roebuck is not my first priority. Yeah, they knew I wasn't gonna pay for that stuff when I got it. Yeah, on the back of the application, they said, who's gonna pay for this? I said, your mama. 2 weeks later, I thought she's having a nervous breakdown. They did it. Here it is, a letter from Sears, final notice. I looked at it, final notice. Thank God we won't be hearing from them no more. They just throw fear out the window. Brother called me scared. They're about to repossess my car. What must I do? Don't park in front of the house. And so I just say thank you. I say thanks to America, who's been willing to stand out here and say, we don't care if it's going to cost our lives. I'm talking about black folks, white folks. When I hit that civil rights movement and went to Mississippi, freedom of speech went out the window. I was scared, but I went anyway. And I saw this white nun get swept past me in Alabama from the pressure of the hose, and then this white priest, and then this 4-year-old black child, and then this old black minister, and then I looked around, and the folks were still marching, still exercising their right to peacefully protest. And then all at once, I realized that we who really exercise that right and ask questions, I mean, we all sit in this Christian society and cry over the crucifixion of Christ, but won't get rid of capital punishment. I mean, are you not aware that the state killed Christ? I mean, Christ didn't die from being mugged to death or run down by some drunken chariot driver. Jesus Christ was killed by the state, which means if Jesus Christ come back to America today and bug the wrong people, they give Jesus electric chair. Then all of us Christians be walking around with big chairs around our neck. Were you there? I mean, how do you make the sign of the chair? Huh?
It's the Keep It Moving show, too. Thank you for staying logged on. I want to shout out Facebook Live. Shout out to my bestie, Raquel. I see her on the line. What up, Kels? What up to Janesta out there? Thank you for the compliment. I love the hair, too. I got to, get it a little touched up a little bit. But, it's all good. Today's soundtrack of the day on the Keep It Moving show, too, is Dick Gregory. And the the reason why I chose Dick Gregory, because I was going to do Storytelling Monday. The last Storytelling Monday I did was on the late great Dr. Sabi. But today's Storytelling Monday was going to be on the late great Dick Gregory. However, it's so much news going on out there that I'm going to spend the next 20 minutes on basically current events. So we talked about, well, I said when we came back we were going to speak about Floyd Mayweather and the Mayweather-McConnell fight over the weekend. Now, first, I just want to shout out Jolly's in Alexandria, Virginia. I went there. It was hookah night. Had a great time with my people. But I thought they might have shown the fight. You know, I mean, it's a big thing that goes on in these United States when, you know, big fights come on. And I thought, you know, they would be showing the fight. So we went to the hookah bar, had some hookah, which I don't really get what hookahs are about. But okay, I figured if they really wanted to put something in those bongs, I could have walked out to the car and came back. But, you know, they said, nah, never mind. So we just had some lemon and mint stuff. Anyway, what's that about? I don't know. But anyway, that's what they do in their country. So they brought it over here. And you know, we're get-wits. So we just decided to get along with it because that's what somebody brought over here. Why not try it? Okay. So anyway, Mayweather-McConnell. I was waiting for this fight because McConnell, you know, with the whole, almost like Muhammad Ali, hitting the monkey in the face, talking about dance, boy, dance, you know, and monkeys and stuff like this. So I was really waiting for this fight. I was actually glad that it just didn't become the racial thing that it had the potential to become, especially with our new POTUS and stuff like that, you know, with Charlottesville happening and stuff. You would think that this would be just yet another race, part of the race war that we're getting ready to go through. Black people like Mayweather, white people like McConnell or whatever, McGregor or whatever his name was. And so, you know, the fight was here. Yeah, let's go ahead and get it on. Okay. So, you know, a lot of people just in talking about the fight, a lot of people said, you know, well, McConnell, what is his name? McGregor. Yeah, Conor McGregor. I put both his names in one. Yeah, like whatever. But McGregor, yeah, duh. That does sound right. Now, McGregor, people were amazed that he was able to last that long. And they were amazed that he was able to hit Floyd and that he looked as good as he did. But what were they thinking about? McGregor is an athlete and he fights MMA. And in MMA, they do a little bit of boxing. So why were they surprised? The dude is taller and he has a longer reach than Mayweather. Why was anybody surprised that he was able to hit Mayweather? Now, I think what made Mayweather look so befuddled at first is that he just didn't know this dude's style. The dude has a different style. I mean, he's used to being able to kick people. He's used to being able to hit people with elbows. As you can see, he was trying to tomahawk. Mayweather. So Mayweather was getting used to that style. But if anybody that knows boxing, and I'll be glad to share, you know, this time with the both of you if you want to talk about it with me. But if anybody knows Mayweather and knows how he fights, in the beginning of Mayweather's career was when he was a boxer. Over the last maybe 10 years of Mayweather's career, he started being more of a businessman. And how can you earn money and have fun earning the money if you're constantly getting hit? So Mayweather started to be a businessman that was more so interested in, like Martin said, I ain't in the business of getting hit.
Right.
You know, so he wants to be able to, you know, he showed his ringmanship skills over the last 10 years using his business sense. Do you guys have an opinion about that? Do you think, what do you think?
I'm no boxing aficionado, but I know that first of all, he was a smart businessman. He was an incredible athlete, and well, he had to persevere a lot, but he went through a lot of training. The funny thing is, my cousins know him, and like on a personal level, they got pictures with him and everything like that. Him and when 50 Cent were going through that, was all that. But that was all just for the camera, smoke and mirrors. They got pictures hugging each other. They cool. They really tight. So that was kind of interesting to me. But as far as the fight goes, I didn't get to see the actual fight. I had to watch it on the Spanish channel or something like that. So I didn't get the commentary that I wanted to get.
But that was the same as me. I streamed it.
You know what I mean? You know how that is. Don't tell nobody. But hey, $100 million is a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I could understand why McGregor would want to go in this. I believe that he could have got beat earlier, right? He could have got knocked out a little bit earlier. McGregor, right. Yeah, but that there was just a little bit of he was taking his time with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was, and then towards the end, you saw how they broke up the fight.
That's the one part that I didn't like. I didn't like that the referee stopped it so soon.
Because but the ref seen what was coming.
Oh, yes, he did. And he should have let McGregor get it.
Yeah, I think so, too.
He should have let McGregor get it.
That's what the people paid for.
Yes, that's right.
Because he got his stride at the end. Mayweather got his stride at the end.
But when you talk about technical knockouts is when the person is deemed defenseless, when he's not fighting back, and he seems that he can't. Now
McGregor got stamina because he is an athlete.
Yeah.
You know, so he stayed on his feet. I give him that. But towards the end, he was wavering.
Oh, he was getting ready to get punished. Your comments, Bub?
Hey, always a pleasure to be on the KIM Keep It Moving show, too. There's no place in life I'd rather be right now. Well, that's not almost true.
Yeah.
You know, we did play the Cincinnati Bengals yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I saw that mess.
So my mind was on Cincinnati for some reason.
Shout out to Cincy.
and orange is my favorite color.
Because you're orange, man. You got it.
So, you know, you smell it. So, but in the final analysis, the reality of the boxing world is really a money business, and it's a great business. It's a money business, and you're right. One of the things that the referee was probably instructed to do before the fight even started
protect him.
If either one of these guys are getting close to getting really hurt, step in, because it's not what's happening right now. It's what's going to happen after. So Conor McGregor still has a career in front of him.
Yes, he does.
Mayweather can still fight. You don't want either one of them to get real
damaged. But you did hear him announce his retirement again. Afterwards.
Yeah, I mean until the next challenge was a Ronda Rousey or whoever comes along, you know, that he can make $100 or $200 million.
Fight a girl. Mayweather fights girls though.
I'm just saying. I mean, whatever that is, it's a money business for him. So whatever.
I'll fight Mayweather.
Yeah.
I mean, just give me. I don't even need $100 million. Just give me $50 million. I'll fight Mayweather.
I'll make this thing work, right?
I won't hurt him.
So there's a possibility that both of them will go back to competing at least for the money, for the big money paydays, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I did see some clips, and I tell you, it looked like they were throwing some real leather in there.
Well,
I didn't see it live, but when I saw the clips, I said, okay, that's real leather.
McGregor got in a few shots. I mean, he's taller, he has a longer reach, so he did get in a few shots on Floyd. Punched him in the face a couple times, and I think what that did was woke Floyd up. That let me go ahead and do something now before this boy actually puts me on the mat, because he is an athlete. He is a professional athlete. He's in shape. He has the stamina, and at one particular time he can throw a punch and it might just happen to land where
lucky one in.
Shoot, he might have got mad and did a roundhouse kick or something and like kicked Floyd out the ring, and then
would have lost, but still
right, he would have lost, but so I put Mayweather on his back,
right?
You know, a whole bunch of people might have been happy about that.
Right.
So shout out to Floyd Money Mayweather. As a matter of fact, shout out to Floyd Joy Mayweather Jr. His name is Joy. So Floyd Joy Mayweather Jr. for becoming the greatest boxer ever at 50-0. He just surpassed Rocky Marciano's undefeated record. Mike Tyson, I think, was closer to doing that, and then he lost to Buster Douglas, so that was out. but Floyd Mayweather Jr., Floyd Joy Mayweather Jr., I'm going to always say that, is now 50-0, and shout out to him. He said he's retiring, and, peace out, Floyd. I want you to come in and throw some money out to the crowd. Right. Speaking of throwing money out to the crowd, matter of fact, let me end up with saying this. McConnor is probably never been as big in his life than he is now. And I'm pretty sure McConnor, what's his name? McGregor. I went back to McConnor. I'm pretty sure McGregor will have lots to do with that $100 million that he just won. So, anyway, speaking of hundreds of millions, Colin Kaepernick, the blackballed quarterback in the NFL, has given over $800,000, $800,000 to different charities that has to do with black on black crime or helping disadvantaged and stuff like that. So big up to Colin Kaepernick. He's doing a lot more than what the NFL does and a lot other people out here in their charity world. So anybody else that's out there saying that Colin Kaepernick is not doing anything for his cause, apparently is living under a rock. So shout out to Colin Kaepernick, and shout out to Spike Lee and everybody who put together the rally that they had in front of the NFL headquarters over the weekend in support of Colin Kaepernick and I guess boycotting the NFL. Still not sure how I'm going to work that out, because I don't want to boycott the NFL. I would rather boycott the sponsors and also help support Colin Kaepernick and purchasing his things to give back to the communities. I would rather do that. A lot of people are stuck on not watching on Sunday mornings. I'm not there yet. I am still really considering this, and I'd rather give Colin Kaepernick my money and take away from the sponsors of NFL. That way we're putting our money where our mouths are, and I can still watch the Cowboys go to the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
What up, Sean?
So regardless of what you do something.
Yeah. Okay.
And then as far as that goes, we're not a homogeneous group. We'll never all do the same thing.
Right.
That's.
But as long as we do something to benefit the cause.
So I'm not gonna sit around and blame you for not doing it my way, and I'm not gonna let you blame me for not doing it your way, and just keep moving. And the fact is that when you have a multiple prong approach, you actually have a better chance of being successful at it. The problem is when a bunch of Negroes sit in a room and tell other Negroes that they're doing it the wrong way, and you need to do it my way, and my way is the right way. And then what ends up happening is we end up having infighting more than we do have cooperation. So the bottom line with that is, are we ever going to overcome it? We're just not conditioned to do that one another. We're conditioned to be against each other from the time we're in kindergarten.
Well, you know what? I get that, and I totally understand it. And I want to share a conversation with you, and not now, but, in the future about speaking about the elder generation of our black community and our generations now. How we all are different, but we're still working towards the same cause. And so we have to continue doing it. People might be mad all they want to that I'm still watching the Cowboys, but at the same time, how mad can you be when I am walking around with Colin Kaepernick t-shirts that I actually bought from him, not from what other people are making themselves and keeping the proceeds for themselves. So it's the we're going to talk about that. So as well, let me say this. I had a conversation with someone else the other day, and we were talking about giving back to the community as well. And I asked this question. I'm not sure how realistic this is, but just in general, if we have, say, 200 athletes that make over $5 million a year, what would it be for them to give to the community, or at least every African American adult with an active Social Security number? What would it hurt them to give us from a range of 20,000 to 100,000 to get ourselves out of debt, so we could be on an even playing field, so we could give back? I was asking that question. a lot of people tell me that I am a leftist. I don't think so. I'm more of an independent, but I do think, me personally, if I was making over $40 million a year and I was guaranteed almost $40 million a year for the next 10 years, I don't think I would have a problem, at least with all of my friends. I'm talking about everybody I know. I'm not leaving anybody out, with giving them anywhere from $20,000 to $100,000. If I'm making $40 million a year over 10 years, I don't see what problem that would be. And I would give my people that amount of money. Yeah, Shy.
I just want to interject because on the surface it seems okay, but we remember what happened to people like MC Hammer and the rest. You know, he had a large crew and he gave out a lot, and he's not broke, but a lot of that has dissipated and you can't account for it. So I think we have to learn economic independence. There's a group of us trying to start things like black banks,
yes,
and the like, and that's important in the community, because I heard that if we were giving reparations again, it would all end up in Cadillac dealerships and out of our.
But guess what? You can't. But I get that. I understand that. But you can't tell me what I can do with my money. If I want to buy a Cadillac, let me buy a Cadillac.
Yes, but you said that the purpose of this was to give back to the community in some sort of fashion.
We could start on an even playing field.
Yes.
So if I don't have a means of transportation and I want to buy a vehicle,
you don't have to buy the fanciest vehicle on the lot, but okay.
You're right.
So, you know,
You're right.
And I walked and tell in that conversation, but one of the things that Jim Brown and those guys were trying to do back in the day.
Jim Brown
was to take some of their capital and take some of their leverage and resources and create credit opportunities for people.
Right.
So the athletes decided to, what they really should do is just charter their own credit union.
Yes.
And then provide grants and loans to people
that otherwise wouldn't get these grants and loans.
Do your own banking. So now you're not getting a handout, you're getting a hand up.
A hand
run
up.
into a financial problem.
Right.
Now, at the same time, with my credit or my money, if I want to buy a Cadillac, I can buy a Cadillac. Now, what I will ask you to do, since you're being, I won't call it irresponsible. I'm saying that what you do with your money is what you do with your money. It may be irresponsible to me for what I'm trying to do, but for you, I don't know what your household contains. So I would say, if you're going to buy a Cadillac, at least go to the Cadillac dealership in your community.
Yeah, I get that too.
Right. So at least we're still
let that money
spending the dollar
circulate
in our communities. Right.
Or one that supports your community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
And the other way to do it is, for example, if I'm one of those conglomerate athletes or entertainers, and we're banking, and you want to buy a Cadillac, and then what I'm going to do, the average Cadillac is $500 a month. I'm going to specify that you have to buy one for $350. You know, you have to either lease or you have to get one used. Now, at that point, you take the $150 difference that you would have been putting out of the Cadillac, and now you're going to put it into this fund. So by doing that, if you run into a problem with Cadillac, paying a bill,
you
got some reserve.
I like that.
And or worst case scenario, now you have a savings plan that even after you pay your Cadillac off, you know, you put away $1,800 a year over 5 years. Now you're sitting on $6,000-$7,000.
I like that math.
Now you've begun the process.
Yeah.
This is not This is not rocket science.
Right.
It's not, but you still got to start from a point of education. A lot of us just say, "Oh, I like some shoes. Let me go spend money on this." And
Negroes are over fucking educated as it stands right now.
Oh, okay.
The problem with us is not our education.
Yeah.
The problem with us is we're stuck on stupid. So what happens is we can educate each other all day, and we've done that. Education is not a problem. Every one of us can sit around this table and tell you what should be done because we've been informed and we've been educated. The problem with us is the brother sat here that day, the financial guy sat here, and many others who have come in here. The problem is not us being educated. The problem is us being motivated. You know, and say, okay, I know that I don't need to spend 99% every dime I make.
But
Now, if you stick it under your mattress, you stick whatever you do with it, then that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
But that doesn't. I don't need to be educated for that. Do you?
No.
I mean, common sense. Well, some of ours common sense would say, "Listen, I only have $100. Now, this right here that I want costs $90. Right. Now, after taxes is going to cost me $97.
Right.
Now, I'm only going to have $3 left. Now, is this worth it? Now,
No.
as when we start looking at it this way, some of us are going to come to the conclusion that, yeah, it is worth it, because guess what? I don't have this and I need this to be able to do this over here. Some of us are going to say, you know what, I'm a shop for a lesser price.
Right.
Some of us are going to say, listen, I'm just going to sacrifice and not get it at all, and keep my $100 for a rainy day. See, as you said, we all don't think the same.
No.
We all don't act the same. But if the goal is the same thing,
Yeah.
then no matter how we get there, just get there.
Well, there's a lot of crabs in the barrel mentality too, that we have to look out for. And sometimes there's I got mine, you got yours to get kind of personality towards it. And so they don't turn back around once they get their $250,000 a year job or $300,000 a year job. They don't come back and educate or talk to the youth and say, this is how I got here, this is how I can maintain here. Okay, because when you get the money, you just don't want to spend it all up, so that's why you get these athletes and people that made large amounts of money, and then later on in life, they have nothing to show for it.
I know quite a few of them.
Yeah, you do.
It's the Keep It Moving show.
And you've had conversations with these guys over the years about what they could and should do to leverage.
Yeah. Roland, I was watching the Big Three Championship, the basketball, that Ice Cube has started, the Big Three Championship, which Rick Mahorn's team, Trilogy 3 or something like that, beat Gary Payton, the Gloves team, Three-Headed Monster. Actually, let me just also shout out to Abdul Mahmoud Muhammad. Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. Chris Jackson. Right. And I wanted to make sure I said that name right. I always get it wrong. But I wanted to shout him out because he was playing. He's the point guard on Gary Payton's team, Three-Headed Monster. Yes, he's the point guard on Gary Payton's team. They went to the championship against Rick Mahorn's team Saturday night. And a lot of people forgot that Chris Jackson, Abdul Rauf was also blackballed in the NBA for not standing for the American flag, for the national anthem. And he was blackballed and never heard from again. And when the announcers spoke about Chris Jackson Saturday before the fight, they went on talking about it, and just at the end of them getting ready to talk about why he wasn't in the NBA before, they said, sort of like the Colin Kaepernick incident. And then they left it at that. But Chris Jackson, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, was blackballed in the NBA. I forgot the year. It might have been late 80s. He was blackballed in the NBA for not standing for the national anthem. And I'm wondering what he thought. I really wish I could have been one of the commentators on the scene out there. I really wish somebody had asked him what he thought about Colin Kaepernick and his stand against the national anthem as well. Shout out to everybody on Facebook Live. I appreciate you guys. Good morning, Cuz. Good morning, Phil.
I'm sorry.
Good morning, Phil. Good morning, Shawnee. Good morning, Pee Wee. What's the deal? Everybody, Facebook Live, I'm in love with y'all. What was that, Bub?
The biggest difference now is that the brothers in the NBA was not going to stand with Chris Jackson, nor did they defend him.
And
right?
You're exactly right.
Right
and
now,
they weren't making that money either, except for Jordan.
Well, right now, they're trying to make it a Colin Kaepernick thing, but this thing's bigger than Colin Kaepernick.
Yes, it is.
So you have athletes in the NFL taking a stand all the way across the board.
Even white boys.
You got white folks doing it.
Yeah,
now.
even white boys.
And when the college season starts, and they had last night on SportsCenter, they actually did a piece on will college athletes take a more active role in terms of activism. Now, I have a record of it as an athlete, but
should they?
My record is
do
gone.
That?
Here was the interesting thing. Go ahead.
I just haven't heard the argument completely made that it's their place to. So, some people might choose, like you said, a different path to be activists and not choose to take a knee. Are they wrong?
And let me say this as well. Des Bryant, my boy, throw them X's up, baby. Yeah, Des, he fine too. But anyway, Des said, because he was called out by Jamil Hill on Sports Center. You know, she's with I love their show, and I keep forgetting what the names of their show is.
The
Jamel and Michael and Jamel. Yeah,
Michael.
Yeah, I forgot his name, and Jamel Hill. And so I always know her name because I like the fact that she's a black girl doing sports. And, you know, actually she probably heard about it from me because I was, you know, and I heard about it from Jane Kennedy. So, you know, I'm just saying we wanted to be black sports commentators. So shout out to Jamel Hill. But Jamel thought that she would call Des Bryant out for not joining the boycott because Des and the owner of a pizza shop in Texas were going back and forth, and it was play chatter, but they were going back and forth, and Des said that he was going to boycott the pizza store. So Jamel said, boycott them? You're not even standing up with Cap and blah, blah, blah. So Des Bryant came back and said, hold up. You don't know what I do because I do a lot for the community in Dallas and where I'm from. I give back to my people. I do this and that. Now, I am not going, this is what Des said, and I'm paraphrasing here. I'm not going to protest my job. What I'm going to do is do what I always do, and that's give back. That's the same thing that Colin Kaepernick is doing, but I'm doing it from a different route. So big up to Des Bryant, because as we're sitting here talking, I don't want to not watch Des Bryant because I am supporting Colin Kaepernick. I would rather go buy a Kaepernick t-shirt from Kaepernick or do something that Kaepernick is asking me to do to support the causes instead of doing what I have been doing for the last 50 years of my life on a Sunday. And this Sundays are my only day off. So to me, this is peace for me and getting myself together for the week ahead and the fight ahead that I have for me. Okay. So I chose something different. So as we were talking about a little bit earlier, as long as we get there, does it matter if I take the highway or does it matter if I take the scenic route?
No, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, again, it's going to matter to some people, and for some people, it don't matter. I mean, so you're going to get that stratification when you're dealing with our people, regardless. But getting back to something you said, Jamel Hill was completely out of order in her calling out Des Bryant in that fashion, because and with a quick wit, I would have said, "Hey, Jamel, tell you what, I want you to work for a producer who tells you they're going to fire you if you protest too.
How about
now
that?
Let's see what happens
Let's see
on
what
your
you do.
job.
Let's see
right.
what you do.
So the bottom line is he works for an employer that says if you do this, I'm cutting you.
Yeah.
So you know what? I mean, that's the end of the story.
I want to go to work.
Now,
I like my job.
If you got a real problem with it, then Jamel Hill, why don't you call out Jerry Jones?
How about that?
You know, forget calling out the seed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Forget calling out the egg, call out the chicken.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Now call him on the phone
what is it
and deal
that you
with him.
can't see? What can't you see, Rock?
Can't see me.
She
won't see me. Anyway.
Here you go. Here you go. I'm
going to do the LL Cool J to you.
Shoot.
And I'm going to take my glass off. Y'all haven't seen this yet.
Yeah.
There's a prevailing issue that I'm a pretty black man without my glasses. I'm sort of like Idris Elbow. Anyway, so real quick, getting back to what you were saying about the colleges. When these white folks were on the air last night, not only did they say the ideal place for this protest is in college, and they said, look, college is the place where you're supposed to be exploring your activism. College is the place where you are supposed to put things to the test. College is the place where you do your longitudinal studies. College is the place where you are before you make a living, and the man tells you what not to do.
They're not paying those athletes anyway, but they're making $1 million off the backs of it.
I mean, but that's another conversation too. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's all in the same vein. I would, you know what I mean? That's the
injustice. Did you play?
No.
I'm asking a question. Did you play, or did you know anybody that played college ball at that level?
I do.
I knew people that played.
Right. So what happens is, when you're in that world and getting paid, and you're a piece of property. You have no say. You have no nothing. So in terms of the two issues, in terms of them not getting paid, that's something that has to happen in court. That becomes a legal issue, and there have been some courts who have now said that that the actual football programs now have the ability to incorporate separate from the university. And if they do that, now they can pay the players.
Yes.
But no football program wants to take that chance, right? But that's a legal issue. It's really a court issue. It's a policy that has to be challenged in court. But in terms of your activism,
right?
They were just saying that this is and again, I was floored with their response, but I agreed with it that this is the place where you do your activism in college, like the Brothers Music. And there's no NFL team, no group of black NFL players are going to threaten to boycott a game. Them brothers from Missouri, what'd they do?
Yeah.
They said we're not practicing and didn't go to practice.
And
they said we're not playing,
right?
And then they fired the president from Missouri.
And then
that's not going to happen in
mention
NFL.
as well that Missouri is on the travel advisory ban list. That if you are black, if you're a black American, matter of fact, if you a black African, if you black anything, and you're driving through the state, right? If you got black, you in a black car with black tents, and you drive through the state of Missouri, be on the lookout for 50 to be on your back, because they now have a travel advisory against travel advisory for American black Americans that travel through the state of Missouri, as well as Arizona. And when we come back, we're going to talk about Arizona and what is happening there, as well as Texas. So
Sheriff Joe.
Oh, yeah. Sheriff Joe is back, y'all. So we come back. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in this country that still has to do with race relations. And then after that, it's Storytime Monday. Dick Gregory. And Dick Gregory is also our soundtrack of the day. Thank you to Shelly. Thanks to Martin. Bestie, can you see now? Everybody on Facebook Live, thank you so much. WWW Land, you know I appreciate you. It's Keep It Moving show, too. Soundtrack is Dick Gregory today. Stay tuned.
There was television. There was only radio. And I thought Bob Hope and Milton Berle was corny. I mean, that was to a different culture pattern. And so I never got, if you was born in New York or Chicago, if you was an adult, you might get to see a Negro comic on the black circuit, but there was no nightclubs in St. Louis except jazz clubs or music clubs or what have you, or blues clubs where people went out to dance. And so humor, and there's one day, there's a big separation between humor and comedy.
Okay.
Humor is what we all do. Comedy is professional people who get paid, a comedian. The greatest laugh you ever had in your life did not come from professional comedians. It came from friends or relatives. And the difference between humor and comedy is a timing. Just to sit around the table on Thanksgiving as family member and just tell a joke, the timing. My breath don't have to be right. I don't have to, and I can tell the same joke every year on Thanksgiving when I come to dinner, and it's funny. That's humor. What I learned as a child, there's a type of, I don't want to say sick humor, but that's the way it was always described in the 60s. It had nothing to do with black folks. It was a different humor, and they would say sick comedy. We've always had that. Playing the dozens. Remember, the mental retardation, even with white folks, not just black folks, it was the mother's fault. And so the dozens was a rhythm that always talked about your mama. And so people would pick on me, like, where's your daddy? Mm-hmm.
I see.
And then one day I had heard all the little funny things that they said about me that would humiliate me. And I was sitting with a friend of mine. And I said, man, do you know so-and-so, so-and-so? I mean, that was kind of funny what he said when you stop and think about it. For instance, my legs are real little. So a guy would say, man, your legs are so little, you should sue him for non-support. And so one day I took everything that they would say about me and I jumped them. I would start saying it about myself. Okay? Everything. And then all at once, the crowd now is over here with me. And once that crowd comes with you, then you can do whatever you want to do. Once the crowd comes on me, and then all of the people who would humiliate you and play the dozens with you, as long as they don't have the crowd. And so I got so good at it that these guys would see me coming, and they would cross over on the other side of the street. Or they would come by my house, and ask my mother where was I, because they wanted to kind of like get a little joning thing on.
Yes.
So I got so good at it. Now, all the way through high school, I was like the master at it.
And how did people respond to you when you performed?
Oh, when
in
I did
Chicago
first, I went
clubs?
in. I went in the
Yes.
club, and I see this black comedian. It's the first time I've ever seen a black comedian in my life.
Such as anyone we would know?
Oh, no.
No.
No. It was just named Alan Drew. And remember now, white folks owned the black nightclubs.
Yes.
Except the one, which was Herman Roberts, was the biggest black nightclub in the world.
Uh-huh.
And so I went in there, and I just said to a friend of mine, Jesus Christ, what a wonderful way to make a living. Jesus, he walked out, and everybody got quiet, and he talked about people's mama, and talked about this, and I said, God, man, that's about as close as you can come to pimping, and don't get arrested. And I just kept talking about it.
It's the Keep It Moving show, too, right here on elifemedia.net. Thank you so much for staying logged on. We are the ultimate media outlet, and thank you guys for wherever you are on the planet for staying logged on. I like love. I like love. The conversation that we were just talking about. And in a sense, it's going to be the same conversation, but we're going to turn it over to WTF News. That's what the news. All right. Real quick, in our Buy Black the Block segment that I do want to Keep It Moving show, I know I've told everybody about the one supermarket that services the whole Northeast and Southeast DC. Actually they have two supermarkets that services the whole Southeast and Northeast DC. Two supermarkets. Now, the other day, a lot of the customers got together and they protested the fact that Safeway is serving them bad meat. The meat is bad. They get it home. It's got toes and stuff grown in it. That's how long it's been sitting there. You could tell there's some dye on there because part of it is brown, part of it is red, part of it is yellow. They could tell the meat is bad. You uncover it, you can smell it immediately and stuff like that. So what they did in Minnesota Avenue in Northeast DC, what they did, instead of bringing them new food or fresh food, they brought a lady from Georgetown. Now, for anybody else out there in the planet that knows about Georgetown, everybody knows Georgetown Hoya basketball, big up them, big up Patrick Ewing and Knicks, what up? Everybody knows about Georgetown. Everybody knows about the exclusive neighborhoods. It's beautiful, blah, 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 The Exorcist and all that stuff. That's what we know about Georgetown. But did you know Georgetown was inhabited by blacks? Before the white people actually came and took their homes and gentrification and stuff, just like they're doing all over the country for blacks once again. I mean, this happens like every 20, 25 years. So white people are the majority in Georgetown right now. So what they did was they brought a manager from Georgetown Safeway, brought the manager to Northeast Safeway, and trying to implement new rules and stuff over the workers. Now, it's not the workers that's the problem. It's the food that's coming in there to the customers that's the problem. So I don't understand what this is about. Okay, so that's one what the F news. If you're going to change something, why don't you start with what the problem is? And the problem is the food, not the workers. Keeping it moving. Last night I was watching Soledad O'Brien because I like Soledad. CNN kicked her off. They kicked Roland off. Now we do have black perspectives on CNN now. So shout out to all of them. I love those people up there on I don't know their names, but
they ain't kicked me off, nothing. You
CNN?
said Roland.
Not you, bub.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm talking about Roland Martin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that big mouth dude. But anyway, CNN kicked him off. They kicked off Soledad O'Brien. And Soledad has a new show that comes on Sunday night at 11:30 at night. Okay. So Soledad was on there and she's talking to the author of the new book about Emmett Till. And for those of y'all that don't know, that's why I said today is a very informative day. For those of you that doesn't know, this is, I believe, the 54th anniversary of the death of Emmett Till, when he was killed by a group of white men who said that he sexually harassed a white woman. And it's also the 54th March on Washington, which was actually the march against the poor and jobs and economy. So that's what's happening as well. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say, I heard that the lady that did the accusing when Emmett Till had confessed
Right.
later on.
Right. So on Soledad O'Brien, she had the author of the new Emmett Till book. And this man, back in 2008, so what year are we in? 2017? Okay. So 9 years ago, this dude goes down and interviews the lady who said Emmett Till, grabbed her on the butt and called her, come here, hoe. And, I'm paraphrasing. I know he didn't say that, but, basically, I'm talking about young men these days.
Right.
But anyway, so the author of the book was interviewing the lady who told on Emmett Till. And she said she couldn't remember exactly what happened because as the years, this is 54 years later, she doesn't remember. She's like in her 70s now, late 70s. And she said, but she did know that what she said that Emmett Till did to her was a lie. She said it was untrue. She did it so her husband wouldn't get in trouble, which back then, I don't know how much trouble he would have gotten into anyway, because they weren't convicting white men for killing black men. However, she did confess that she lied. Now, Soledad O'Brien said, okay, so she lied. 9 years later, you're telling us that she lied. And Soledad O'Brien said, I'm completely flabbergasted that you waited this long. Why didn't you tell the family when she told you that she lied 9 years ago? The man said that he didn't think his family wanted to know. What the fuck? The man said he didn't think his family wanted to know. And then he also said that his book, it was so hard to write the book. It's so hard to write the book.
He's the victim.
Yeah. He's the victim now. And so now he's going to make all of this money off of this book because Soledad O'Brien, while she was speaking about it, was talking about how good the book was for people to go read it. Now he's standing there smiling that she's giving him this great endorsement of the book. Yet he's going to make money off of this, knowing that for 9 years he kept this with him, that this lady died. I mean, this lady was lying. She should be convicted and put in prison in her old age. Yes, she should. Keeping it moving. And other news, Donald Trump over the hurricane decided he's going to slip in a couple of things, and he pardoned the racist Joe Arpaio or something. I always mess up people's name. I don't care. He don't need his name pronounced right. But Sheriff Joe in Arizona, he's a racist, and he always targets Latina and Latina men and women, the majority of them, because they're out there by Arizona by the border. And he's also doing it to blacks as well, but it's more so the Latina population out there. Trump has pardoned him, overturned his conviction and pardoned him. He's out of jail. And now because Trump said that this man has served over 50 years of service to these United States of America, and he deserves to be honored and not put in jail. Well, what the fuck? This lady, this Emmett Till lady, she deserves to be put in jail just like Sheriff Joe, just like everybody else who had a hand in oppressing and putting their knees in the back of black men and women and children in this country. And they all should still be prosecuted years later. And we should have our reparations. I don't care what anybody says. Give us free.
That's right.
You mean like the Nazis are still being persecuted for the Holocaust?
The Nazis are still being persecuted for
Yep.
the Holocaust. They are even coming to this country, getting Nazis and taking them back over there and
Right.
prosecuting. They have given reparations to the Japanese. They have given reparations to the Jews
That's
and
right.
the Jewish people over there, not the real Jewish people. But they have given
Uh-oh.
reparations to them,
Right.
and we didn't even put them in the Holocaust. Germany did that,
That's
but
right.
we gave them reparations. So I'm talking to everybody out. I got a group, and I got a network of people that I'm trying to get together, and we are going to come up with a solution, a proposal, and a suit against the United States of America for reparations for the black man and his subsidiaries, which is us and the children. The end. What the
right.
fuck?
We built this country, right?
We built it, and now we need to get paid for it. It's the Keep It Moving
As
show.
Bernie Mac would say, "Funk 'em up
How
against the
about
wall
that?
with handcuffs on them and crazy glue on their lips."
You know, also let me in other what the F news out of Charlottesville, Virginia, you know, my town, what they are finally have gotten information on some of the guys who beat down the black guy with the pole in the garage and stuff. So they have arrested a couple of them. But they know who they all are because white people that know these people have outed them out with their names and addresses, and the Charlottesville, Northern Virginia State Police have gotten on their asses and gotten them people back there to prosecute them as they would have done us had it been us there. So shout out to all the white people that are standing up to help fight against brutality from
Amen.
the white supremacists, whether they're KKK or Nazis or alt-right. They're all the same. They're all racist. And shout out to the white people who are standing up against them, because
So
it's going to take you guys as well for us to make this happen.
So where was it this weekend where the police actually escorted the white supremacists out of the area?
I think that was
Which is
Berkeley
the-
on the Berkeley,
Yeah,
Berkeley,
Yeah,
USC
so-
Berkeley campus.
Yeah, Berkeley will do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. So, you know, I wanted to also say that, and you know, I'm not even playing. I'm not playing. You guys know what it is the Keep It Moving show too. And I also want to shout out to highs and hellos, highs and hellos. Shout out to them. They gave me this great bag full of infused tequila and lemonade, marijuana drink. A girl was in heaven with her adult party favors over the weekend. Well, when I got a chance.
Where can somebody find that store at?
Well, I think they're going to be on the show next week.
Oh,
I'm
sure.
trying my best. So shout out to everybody at Highs and Hellos.
You know, it's not for me. It's for my uncle with the
For your,
cataracts.
okay,
you
right,
know.
with the cataracts. Got it. But they're going to be on the Keep It Moving show. They're going to bring in edibles. They're going to bring in drinks. It's going to be such a blast, and I can't wait. So you guys tune in next Monday. Highs and Hellos will be on. Shout out to my girl Aisha, Sister Aisha, girl. I was just talking about Charlottesville and stuff. Hope you heard that. Also, shout out to Sister Aisha and Sister Amy that was on the Keep It Moving show. They are down with the Black Panther Party too and the Black Movement. And they actually went to Pocahontas Island in Virginia and spoke to a lot of the historians there about the Nat Turner and his reign of terror, I'll say, for the white people. I don't know if everybody saw the eclipse or heard about the eclipse that we just had August 21st. Well, that was actually the day that Nat Turner yes, when he did his insurrection. Yes, thank you, Sha Blizzy. So so that was actually the day, August 21st, and Sister Aisha and Sister Amy was down there along with a lot of other people. I think Griff was there, Chuck D might have been there, a lot of people around there, and they saw artifacts of Nat Turner. I think they saw the glue or the tar that they made out of Nat Turner, as well as some other artifacts. If you get a chance, Pocahontas Island is not right near Petersburg area of Virginia. So you guys do yourself a favor, and instead of going to all the Civil War reenactments and stuff, go to your own place. It's on Pocahontas Island. It's in Virginia. Look it up. Google is your friend, and we keep it moving. So when we come back, we're going to talk about Brother Dick Gregory. Our soundtrack of the day is Brother Dick Gregory's clips from his comedy hours and his conversations as well.
She about to call him Gick Daggery.
Dick Gregory.
If you're wrong, I wouldn't mind paying my income tax if I knew it was going to a friendly country. And we have a lot of racial prejudice up north, but we're so clever with it. Take my hometown, Chicago. I mean, you can't see it just going in there. When the Negroes in Chicago move into one large area and it looked like we might control the votes, they don't say anything to us. They have a slum clearance. You do the same thing on the West Coast, but you call it freeways. Well, anybody here from Chicago? Where do you live in Chicago? South Side. Whereabouts? North Side? Lawrence, yeah. How long you been away? 7 years. You're in a hell of a surprise if you ever go back. My brother just moved in there. That's it.
Dick, with this new Negro humor, what is the white man laughing about?
I think the white man is laughing at the same thing a person laughs at when they slam their hand in the car door and when it's about to heal. The problem is almost over. As Martin Luther King said, Jim Crow is dead in the South. It's just a matter of how expensive they want to make the funeral. You can always laugh at problems that's right. Everyone in the whole world knows this is a wrong. So then you can make humor out of this, and matter of fact, you enlightening people on just what's going on. No one actually knows the Negro problem. The average white man meets the Negro at work when we're in an inferiority position. You hear a lot of Southerners say, well, the Negroes that I've been around, they say they want segregation. They don't want to move into our schools. Well, this is what I call taking the fifth. If Jimmy Hoffa and all the big hoodlums can take the fifth, then how come we can't take the fifth? We don't need to take the first when we can't get the 14th. And this is just a matter of fact. It's the same bit in the South. And up north, you know, the color fellow working with me is one of the most intelligent fellows I've ever met. Well, who is he talking about? The janitor, the maid, to give him any tips on stock? He know what's going on in world problems. This has been a bit where we say he's intelligent to make up for not letting him go to school. And this is the way we've been doing this. Some of my best friends are colored. This is not true. They don't take their best friend anywhere. They don't take them out on Saturday night. They still enter through the back door, so how could this be a best friend? And a lot of them, they don't even know the best friend's last name, just the first name that they've been calling him by for 40 years. They don't know nothing about his family, nothing about his problems.
Our problems don't always show, but even...
It's the Keep It Moving show, too, right here on elifemedia.net. Thank you, everybody, for staying logged on. It is a really informative Keep It Moving show today. Am I on the green screen? Am I? Oh, yeah. I'm all right. You can see me. So shout out to Shaw Blizzy and Roland Bubba Grimes that's in the studio with me today. You know, I couldn't make it happen without them. I want to show them all my love and stuff. And we got some big things coming on to Keep It Moving show and in elifemedia.net. In case you guys didn't see my Facebook page this morning, the owner of elifemedia.net, Reggie Gaskins, sent me a picture of my interview I did with Isaac Hayes, like in 2006, like 2 weeks before he died. I did an interview with him, and he sent me a picture of it. I laughed my ass off because I looked really skinny in there, but I was far from skinny, but I looked so skinny. But that was a really, really, really great day for me. Shout out to and rest in peace to Brother Black Moses. That's Isaac Hayes. He was a hell of a man, hell of a arranger, singer, actor, civil rights activist, father, all that stuff. So shout out to and rest in peace to Isaac Hayes. It's the Keep It Moving show too, and today was supposed to be Storytelling Monday, like I did for the late great Dr. Sabi. I wanted to do one today for the late great Dick Gregory. So what I did throughout the first hour and 15 minutes of the Keep It Moving show was I was playing clips of Dick Gregory instead of playing my hip hop interludes today. So I was intrigued by Mr. Gregory. I've always been intrigued by him, and in watching a lot of the videos, he always made me laugh. I never even knew he was a comedian when I first heard about Dick Gregory. I actually first heard about him through his diet, Dick Gregory diet, and trying to lose weight. So before that, let me just say Dick Gregory was born in October of 1932 in St. Louis, Missouri, where they have a travel ban at for black people. Okay, remember that, y'all. St. Louis, Missouri. Also, shout out to my dude, Murray Edwards in St. Louis, and also his brother, federal judge, Jimmy Edwards out there that's doing big things for the community as well. So shout out to the Edward brothers in St. Louis, Missouri. So Dick Gregory was born in October in the 30s in St. Louis, and the way they described the level of poverty he was in was crippling poverty. Good morning, Taisha. Crippling poverty. Now that's got to be poor. And they were saying that Dick Gregory was so poor that when he and his brothers and sisters, and he had a lot of them, and they were being raised by a single mother because their father left them. But, going to school, they also, he was bullied. And the way for him to escape bullying, he became funny. And he realized the funnier that he was, the more people left him alone. The bullies stopped bullying him, blah, blah, blah. He became a popular man. And in high school, he became a track star. So when running track, he got a scholarship, I believe, to Southern Illinois University. And, he did some things there and was, doing big things in the track world. But then he was drafted because back then, the United States of America could draft you and there was nothing you could do with, you could run to Canada or Mexico, but you'd be considered a draft dodger. And then if you did that, when they find you, they arrest you because, being drafted is mandatory. You're supposed to go. Luckily, they don't have that now because there'd be a lot of people running. But anyway, so he went went to the Army for a couple years and, also did comedy in the in the Army as well. So he had a very, very lucrative career in as being a comic. When he got out of the Army, he started doing stand-up comedy, was making, quite a bit of money. And then he ran into someone who hooked him up with the Playboy Club. And the Playboy Club was owned by none other than the thigh spreader himself, Hugh Hefner. Yeah, he was a thigh spreader. He liked the little girls, just like R. Kelly and Jigga and all the rest of them that like little girls. Hey, if you like little girls and you an old ass man, I'm calling you out. So anyway, old ass man. What's his name? Hugh Hefner had Dick Gregory do stand-up comedy at his club, and Hugh Hefner loved him, and Bill Cosby looked up to him and stuff like that, and Richard Pryor looked up to him as well. And then what started happening, he started making so much money, it was all good, blah, 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 blah. But then he started recognizing what was happening to his people. So he stepped out of comedy and became a civil rights activist. And once he became a civil rights activist, of course, the money from him doing stand-up comedy dried up. So he became poor once again. At this point, he was married with children. I believe 11. Maybe not that many at that point, but he did end up having 11 children. So he fought, for our rights. He stood up. He's been arrested more than 24 times, went to jail, all kinds of stuff. He knew and protested with Dr. Martin Luther King. Same thing with Medgar Evers. Same thing with my friend and client, Marion Wright Edelman. Same thing with all the rest of them who did a lot of the activists back in freedom fighter days, back in the 60s. And what ended up happening was, you know, what always happens with them. One day he gets a call. He's with Medgar Evers. He gets a call from home saying, you need to come home. And he's like, nah, I ain't going home. You know, he leaves his kids and his wife all the time, you know, to stand up for his people. But he gets this call saying, hey, man, we need you to come home. And he says, nah, you know, I ain't coming home. Me and Medgar's got some things going on and this. And they said, well, you know, your son died. So his oldest son died of SIDS, you know, the cough and death and them being in the crib and stuff like that. So his oldest son died and he left Medgar Evers and went home to take care of his wife. When he left Medgar Evers, I believe it was that night or the next night was when Medgar Evers was gunned down in front of his house where his wife and his children were inside and killed him. And Dick Gregory had always said that had they been there a couple days earlier, they would have got 2 niggers for the price of 1. And Dick Gregory didn't have a problem using the word nigger. He wrote a book called Nigger. And he said that when people used to refer to the word nigger to him, he says, every time you hear that word, think about my book, go buy the book. So that was a marketing strategy as well. He was, I guess, definitely, definitely a marketing strategic, I guess. I don't know what
well, he definitely was the stupid.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Mm-hmm. So that was, you know, Dick Gregory talking about his life. When we come back, we're going to talk more about Dick Gregory and his life and his legacy and, you know, his now 10 children, because one child died. And, you know, it's the Keep It Moving show, too. Thank you, guys. Soundtrack is Dick Gregory.
Ohio won, and them white folks tore that town up. It's okay to do it over a damn game, but my mama gets shot in the back of the head by a cop 40 times, and I'm not supposed to tear up nothing? Huh? And even when they had that little ride in Ferguson, they was behaved. Did you see them looting the liquor store? Come out with a half pint of gin. They didn't even get no chips. But we're going to watch this thing change, and thanks for Dr. King and all the folks that came in the 60s to change it. And you white folks should really be thankful. Because all the legislation we got, it didn't say for Negroes only. So you was covered. But for our movement, a white woman couldn't do nothing on an airplane to be a stewardess. Couldn't be a pilot. Like you have to have some kind of smarts to be a pilot. You see the stupid stuff there? They lost a damn plane. That's why we black folks travel with Greyhound. Greyhound ain't never lost a bus. I just don't understand you white folks. Greyhound would never treat us like they do you at the airport. You got to walk to the damn plane. Greyhound bring that bus up to your toe. They lied to you. The bags, they're looking for the bags, and they act like you didn't have none. 3 blocks before Greyhound get into the terminal, they say, all the bags got ripped off in Memphis, so don't go to baggage. Hey, you white folks into the best schools, so I get on the airplane and my bags is missing. I trust you. I said, I would like to speak to the supervisor. second floor to the right. I go up there, go in the supervisor, he got on my suit. Somewhere tonight, when we stop and think about how far we came and where this thing is going. Now think about the civil rights movement and what it meant to white folks too. Like I said, before this movement, thank you, Dr. King, a white woman couldn't do nothing at the airline but be a stewardess. You couldn't be a mechanic. You couldn't be assistant pilot. You couldn't even take our job, baggage handler. All you could do on a plane before our movement is be a stewardess. And it didn't stop there. You had to look like something out of this.
It's the Keep It Moving show, too. Right here on elifemedia.net. Thank you for staying logged on to the Keep It Moving show. That was Brother Dick Gregory. And all show long, I've been playing interludes of Dick Gregory and his comedy and his stand-up, his stand-up comedy, that's the same thing, as well as his lectures as well. Do yourselves a favor and go listen to Dick Gregory. It's the Keep It Moving show, and outside of what I talked about a little earlier, all of this had to do with what we're talking about now. And what I'm doing is Storytelling Monday about the late Dick Gregory. And I spoke to you about his activism prior to and his comedy. But I wonder how many people know that Dick Gregory also ran for mayor of Chicago against Mayor Daley. And he also ran for president against Cruddy Butt Nixon and I think Cruddy Butt Nixon and Hubert Humphreys. Yeah. So of course he lost. But probably one reason why he lost because he said the first thing he does when he gets to the White House is he's going to paint it black. So, back in those days, but I think, Dick Gregory, he from one thing I know about, when I ask people about him, and I mean, when I ask people, one of my best friends and clients is the Honorable Marian Wright Edelman. She is the founder of the Children's Defense Fund. And she also helped put together the Poor People's March, which is the March on Washington for economic and jobs for Black people and poor people. And when I asked Mrs. Edelman about him, she giggled and she said he was so cute and he made us laugh until we were in stitches every time we saw him. And he always told the truth. That's exactly what she said. So when I heard a lot of things that I saw from Dick Gregory, I thought he was lying. Like how he said he was with Michael Jackson before he died, and then he turned around, he was with Prince before he died. Then he turned around, he was with somebody else before he died. And I was like, this man is lying, or he's delusional or something. But as I spoke with Murray Edwards, who was a good friend of Dick Gregory's, as well as Marian Wright Edelman. He said that Mr. Gregory was a truth teller. Whether you liked how he told it or not, he always told the truth. So let's keep it moving. Mr. Gregory did run for mayor of Chicago back in the great year of 1967. Yes, 50 years ago. So, and then a year later, he ran as a write-in candidate for the Freedom and Peace Party for candidate of the United States of America. He lost, but people started to know who he was, and so he kept on doing his thing and doing his thing. Hi, mommy. I love my mom. You know what? My mom, I'm going to do a storytelling Monday about my mom. She's awesome. So shout out to my mom and everybody at Victim Witness Protection. My mom is the best. She kind of reminds you of Diana Ross. Like, she looks like her too. Like, she'll just come out, I'm coming out. That's my mama. So anyway, hi, Mom. Now, what really impressed me about Dick Gregory was I never knew he weighed 365 pounds at one point in his life. And what he did, he was always fasting, always fasting. Now, in protest of the Vietnam War, he went fasting for 2.5 years. Who in the hell does that? That should have been part of the What the F segment. Because who does that? I'm not fasting for 2 weeks. You talking about 2 years? 2 years he fasted protesting the Vietnam War. And what he did was he stayed away from solid foods. So he might have eaten soup, stuff like that, but he stayed away from solid foods, no meats and stuff like that, and he drank a lot of water. So that really impressed me. And then he turned around and fasted again against police brutality. He did that, I think, in the year 2000. So he was always fasting. And what he did was he used that to talk about what one of his passions was, and that was weight gain and obesity in this country. And for those people that doesn't know, he has a health farm. I don't think they call it a fat farm, but he has a health farm, and he had it in, I believe it was Georgia. I believe it was in. And he has a lot of people in the place that are diagnosed obese. And he even has a guy in there that weighed 1,000 pounds. Yeah. He now weighs 300 and something pounds, this guy. And what they do is they come in there and they give them a holistic way of losing weight, like I do, like breathing, water, how to sleep, how to stand, how to sit, how to do all of that. That's what I teach in my stress management workouts and workshops. And I'm actually thinking about sending a proposal to Dick Gregory's place to maybe I could go down there for a few weeks and give them workshops, and that will help them as well.
Speak on it now, because I think you need to stress that a little bit, because in our community, health is a big issue.
No doubt, no doubt. And you don't know, but a lot of people that watch my show and knows me knows that I do stress management workshops for disadvantaged down in Southeast DC. Shout out to Bubba Grimes, because he is straight losing weight.
That's
and
right.
Although I didn't say it to him today, I see a lot more weight loss today than a couple months ago, and he has already lost significant amount of weight. Yes. So shout out to Bubba for discipline, because it takes so much discipline to do something like this, and you have to have mental stability as well. So shout out to Bubba for doing his thing.
And a desire for a sex life,
for a sex life.
So much harder, as they say. Nobody loves a fat man, but oh, how a fat man can love.
I like
everybody
that.
Loves fat men, Roland. But so Dick Gregory ran into some financial issues. The people that were doing his books and stuff messed it up. And Dick Gregory said, "Look, I'm not an accountant. I'm a comedian. So get off my back." So I think he's since then moved this place to Mississippi, I believe, where I think Mississippi has the largest communication. They have a large amount of racist crackers there too, but the largest amount of obese people are in Mississippi as well. So he moved it there.
The hog mogs and chitlins, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Smothered pork chop.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, you know what? Let me take that back. It wasn't in Georgia. It was on the west coast of Florida, like by Tallahassee and little Panama and stuff like that. So since then he's moved it there. So also Dick Gregory also had 11 children, one died, so I'll say 10 children. They all have higher education degrees, every one of them. They all, except for one, went to black colleges. And as a matter of fact, Dick Gregory said that people tried to hold that against him, that he sent his children to black colleges. But he said, you know what? The only one of my children that has an issue mentally or anything is the one that went to the Ivy League school.
I wonder
The
why
one that went to the white school,
why-
yeah.
I wonder why that was.
Yeah. So he said that's the only one that I have a problem with mentally is her. So he also, I believe, he's definitely survived by his wife and his 10 children, and they live on a 300-acre farm as well, where they, I believe they still do a lot of their foods there. They package their foods, they sell their foods. He has left a legacy for his children and his grandchildren. Actually, one of his grandchildren is now a comedian. He's a little baby, but he's a comedian as well. And he used to go on the road with Dick Gregory before he passed to do stand up. So what this man has done was put in motion for his family to be able to live off of his hard work and his ethic, and give them the same work ethic that he has, as well as giving back to their communities. I've been hearing and watching his children all on television and radio over the last 2 weeks, week and a half, put it that way. And he has taught them very well. And I would love to actually have one of them on the show to see if there's anything that, we can learn from them, to know who Dick Gregory was before he passed, maybe some things that we didn't know about Dick Gregory. So that was actually my Storytelling Monday about Dick Gregory. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Last time I showed you guys videos of Sabi and stuff like that. But, we'll keep it moving, and we come back and, I may do some. Before we go to a commercial break, what I would also like to do is shout out to Hakita Success Scholar. Friday night here at eLife Media Studios and Everlasting Life Cafe, vegan restaurant. They had a movie of Dick Gregory called Wisdom, and it was jam-packed. I saw the live feed. I appreciate Roland and Haki for streaming it for me. But they had a live feed, and the conversation was great afterwards. And Haki is doing part 2 to that this Friday here at eLife Media Studios and Everlasting Life Cafe. So you guys come on down and get involved, get into it, and stand up, right? So it's the Keep It Moving show. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about Brother Gregory. We're going to talk about a couple more things, and then I'll have some shout outs that I want to give. A couple sponsors. So I want to say what up to them when we come back, and it's the Keep It Moving show. And shout out to Dick Gregory.
Entertainment, so I had to follow him down to the Super Bowl. First time I ever been to, they weren't going to be serious about the Super Bowl. They dropped $600 million in 4 days. Serious about the Super Bowl. And they stand in line, matter of fact, 4 days, waiting to get in. 4 days before the game, they in line. Oh, and Stevie Wonder's room looking at it with binoculars. It's about 4 days before, it's about 10,000 white folk lined up. I said, Stevie, I wish you could see this. The second day, about 10,000 more showed up. They still got 2 days to go, and they still there. It was in Miami, and they showed, and barbecuing, but they just happy, just waiting on the gate to open. And the third day, about 40,000 white folks standing in that line waiting to get in. And then the last day, they opened up the gate at 12:30, and about 11:35, here come a brother. And I said, Stevie, I'm glad you came. I really believe this brother gonna walk to the front of the line. I mean, these white folks been standing in that serious line for 4 days, and the brother, he clean too, got on a suit and You know, serious shoes. They ain't got none of them Nikes and them tennis stuff on. And sure enough, the brother walked to the front of the line, and I just didn't even want them white folks grab him, and sick, burly white boys, and threw him out 70 yards back and stomped on him, and the brother got up and just brushed his stuff off and went right back up. I said, what kind of drugs can he be? And 10 of these white boys grabbed him and knocked him down, just stomped on him, and he got up and brushed himself off again, looked at him and said, look, y'all want to get in here, you better be cool. I'm the brother with the key. I'm in charge now. Huh? The game.
Back. This is the Keep It Moving show right here on elifemedia.net. Every Monday, you know what's good. From 9 to 11, from 9 to 10, we have Peace in the Morning with our dude, Darius A. Stanton. You need to get some peace in the morning, because after that is the Keep It Moving show, and ain't no peace in here. I turns up. I turn up. I don't think that's not the T.I. song. And the T.I. song is what I put on.
Oh, that's
Jeezy.
Jeezy, yeah.
Jeezy. Oh, as I put on. I was like, that's a remix. I turn up. On the Keep It Moving show, you know. And then after that, we have the irritated genie. He's irritated, and he comes on after me at like 2 o'clock. And then after that, on Magnificent Mondays, we got Rolling Bubba Grimes.
I promise the phone, promise to keep this promise.
He promises the funk and keep the promise and all of that stuff. You know Bubba, he's a funkadelic. So,
mommy, what's a funkadelic?
His mommy too. And then after that, Haki, the success scholar, always trying to teach you what's good. So Magnificent Mondays here on eLife Media is what's good. If you didn't know, now you know. And that's what we do.
We gonna turn this mother out tonight.
We gonna turn this mother out.
I'm gonna get a nap.
You gonna get a nap first?
I'm gonna get a nap and some grapefruit juice.
Nice.
I'm gonna be.
I love grapefruit juice
tonight.
Helps burn fat.
I love it now because it burns fat.
It burns fat.
And I don't want no more damn fat.
Well, you need a little bit, Roland.
I need a little fat.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Her don't want no little man.
Well, you know, in order for me to be little, I got to be at least. In order for me to be little, I had to be like 290.
That's little.
then you can drink me through a straw.
It's the Keep It Moving show. I love being here in the studio. Somebody asked me the other day.
We love having you, baby.
Yeah, you know.
We love having you in the studio.
Somebody asked me the other day, how much does this pay me? And I said, you know what? I would do this for free. Matter of fact, I love this so much that I'd pay to be here.
She's making her investment in her future.
Yeah.
Better that than that Cadillac.
Yeah, how about that? I want to shout out to my sponsors as MBK Massage and Consulting Services.
But you will be getting paid in about 6 weeks.
Hey, I'm looking forward to that.
I'm just letting you know when Bubba say is up, Slim is up.
You know, that's why I like listening. That's why I like you rolling, and not the other rolling.
Hey man, smell my finger.
I don't want to smell your finger.
I'm sorry, that's for tonight's show. I'll take it back. You ain't ready for that.
Yeah. I was going to say, why did my car just pull up in front of this bed? but
it's like a Tesla. It drove itself.
Hey, I'm saying I got kicked. Hello, Kimberly.
Hey, you know what, Kim? Let's put our money together. Let's go buy us a Tesla. It's only $175,000.
You know what? I did see a line standing outside of the Tesla offices downtown D.C.
A line
around the corner.
Slim,
for that
it's
car.
like that.
And it's 100 and some odd.
Nah. I mean, they just came out with a new brand that's like $35,000.
Oh, I can do.
The Negro version.
Yeah.
Well, the problem I heard was they don't have no service stations for them out here. You know.
Well,
Yeah,
is
okay.
it those plug up cars?
Yeah.
I see a lot of places like Bowie Town Center. They have a lot of areas in the parking spaces where you can stop and plug your car in. Yeah.
You don't have to be a membership of the organization of the building that
No,
put it
they
up.
just got them out there.
Wow,
Okay.
I saw it in
Yeah.
Laurel. They had big old electric pumps.
Yeah,
outside.
yeah,
the
that's
cars
what it
were
is.
plugged
Oh,
into the
wow.
electric pumps.
Yep.
Yeah, I almost put a midget. I'm sorry.
Good.
I digress.
Good, great. You know, also let me shout out to today's sponsor of my show, She Richie. Yes, she's on Sundays at 4:00. This is her beautiful candle. This is so beautiful. Facebook Live, check it.
And
It's not me, but it kind of looked like me, like a light-skinned version or something.
and she's been requested, I believe, she said on air, Keisha Cole's sister, some other people in the P. Diddy family. They're digging her artistry.
No doubt.
So
I'm digging your artistry.
DC full of talent, ain't it?
Yeah,
baby?
I'm digging your artistry, and I would love to have you. Hey, the irritated genie just walked by.
Did you see him?
Oh shit!
It was like an apparition.
Yeah. Wow.
It was actually him. Did you feel the earth move?
I think that's what it was.
Let's call him in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Also, so yeah, let me shout out to She Richie.
She Richie.
I would love for her to do a set of candles for me for my show, and I also, with my massage studio and stuff, I would love it. And also, since I'm working with Congressional Black Caucus next month, maybe I could have her do a couple for there
Word.
so they could see her work as well. So shout out to the sponsor of today's show, She Richie. I appreciate it so much. It's a beautiful candle, and I can't wait to get mine. Thank you. Also, I want to shout out to my new engineer here. His name is Shaw Blizzy.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? Having
Yeah. And he and I are going to do some things together because,
Yes, indeed.
I need an intro.
Both of y'all hip hop.
I love it
We-
to death. I grew up with it.
Yes. But how old are you?
I'm 10 years younger than you.
All
Let me
right.
say that.
All right. So that means you know old school.
I know some old school.
Got it,
We
got it.
used to tape Rap City when Chris, the mayor, was
Chris
on there.
Thomas?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we used
You know, I saw him on Roland Martin show the other day, and
Oh, really?
I said,
to, he's still doing his thing,
I
right?
said,
Hey,
And guess what he was doing?
what was
He
that?
was saying,
Yeah, look, uh-oh. You said I'm single then.
he's gonna be single.
Uh-oh. Don't
He
break up
gonna
a
be-
happy home.
No.
I remember hip-hop
No,
when...
he gonna be single.
You remember when who was that? Kid and Play was still dancing and they weren't
Yes,
rapping yet. They
yes,
were still doing
yes.
the Running Man for Salt and Pepper and Daddy Kane and all the rest
Yes.
of that. Scoob and Scrap and all of them.
Yes.
I remember how you doing, brother. What's going on?
Ladies and gentlemen, in the studio with us is the irritated genie.
Hey,
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
You
How
know what?
doing?
Facebook Live want to see you.
What up?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah. So the irritated genie. So let us know what's your show about. And I know I said I was going to have you on the show, but I want you to kind of tell my viewers a little bit what your show is about so they can stay tuned after the Keep It Moving show.
Sure. From 2 to 4 p.m. every Monday, we do something called Chopping It Up with the Genie. And today's show, we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship. We have
Okay.
a sister named Anna Godfrey, and she does network marketing, but she also has a number of different businesses that she runs. And she's going to be talking about having multiple streams of income.
Oh,
So that
nice.
If you want to leave that main job, you set yourself up for that company.
Yeah, okay. So when I first met you, I didn't know that you were the irritated genie. I just know you as Io, right?
Now, wait a minute. Can you tell me what that means first? I'm just curious.
Yes, sir.
I never heard that type of name before. You know?
There's a book called Irritated Genie. It's about the Haitian Revolution.
Oh wow.
The first revolution.
Are you Haitian?
No.
Okay.
But the first revolution in the history of the world where people have been kidnapped and enslaved, and then, sorry, I just walked in here. They have been kidnapped and enslaved,
Right,
and
right.
then have freed themselves and overthrown their slave masters and become free.
Now, see,
is the Haitian Revolution.
I knew there was something deep to that. It seems whimsical, right? But the brother got talking drums on the phone as
How about
you know what I mean? So, you know he deep,
How
right?
about that?
Yeah, and they said that the reason that they were able to defeat the French and other various groups is because they had the angry spirit of the Haitian people. They call it the irritated genie, that spirit of resistance.
Okay.
So people said I had that spirit
Yeah.
after we read that book, so I kind of got that name.
That's right. That's right. Teach them, and reach them, and not just having a name and just try to be cool with it.
Right.
You got meaning behind it.
I thought it was because you were irritated. Hey, also, shout out to Bobby Black, because he's an irritated genie too now.
That's not his full name, though. Ask him his full trade.
What's your full name?
The irritated genie of Southeast, because they call me the irritated genie, but I'm from Southeast, so I had to let everybody know, okay, the Haitians were thorough with it, but I do have that little Southeast that comes out from now and then.
Right.
Don't get it twisted.
Okay.
You gotta
Spell Southeast for the people who watch
South.
from Cincinnati.
SOUF.
That's
East. Also, shout out. So you know what? I'm gonna give that name to people. Shout out to the irritated genie from Northeast too. We call him Black. He is Haitian, he got that spirit. So, as well, so the show today is going to be about entrepreneurship, having multiple streams of income. Okay, and also let me mention, I was saying this prior to. I said I just know him as Io, and I had my guest and sisters Aisha and sisters Amy from the new Black Panther Party, and they saw him and went berserk. I mean, these ladies was like, oh, the irritated genie. Oh my God, what do you mean you don't know who he is? And this. And then he called me out. He was like, you know why you don't know who I am? Because you didn't you didn't look at that
video.
The video that I bought from him. That's why I didn't know who he was. So but what I would like to do, and I wanted to introduce you to the viewers of the Keep It Moving show, because a lot of times after I leave, they may not know that somebody comes on right after me. So in sharing the love is Magnificent Monday. The irritated genie comes on right after me. So we all need to be in position where we hear these things about entrepreneurship. And as a matter of fact, we just finished talking about Dick Gregory, and Dick Gregory actually said that if you are from this country, then you are not about entrepreneurship, then what you are is a slave in this country, because the United States of these United States of America is about entrepreneurship. That's how everybody damn near got to where they are. So today's show, right after me, 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time, wherever you are on the planet, be sure to stay tuned to the irritated genie, Io, and he'll be back on. And I wanted to bring him on so you guys would know exactly who he is, because it is about showing all of us love. It's about spreading the knowledge in our community, and if you don't know, now you know.
That's right.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So it's the Keep It Moving show. It's almost time for us to leave off air, but I am going to play another Dick Gregory clip real quick, and we come back. I'm going to say, and we come back, I'm going to say my goodbyes and blah, blah, blah. It's all good. It's the Keep It Moving show, too.
Well, I need somebody to tell me I am somebody, because I don't know I am. You got here the same way I got here. I got here the same way he got here. We got here the same way Queen Elizabeth got here. A penis goes into a vagina and it ejaculates 500 million sperms. And the one responsible for you and me and him and Queen Elizabeth outran 500 million sperms and got there first. Didn't know one sperm come out and slowly stroll up the fallopian tubes. If you said, man, we're going to dinner tonight, it's 500 million restaurants here, I'm going to take you to the best one, I know I'm in for a good meal. Now, let's go back. When the ejaculation starts, the sperms now come out the testicles, come through the prostate, and that's where they get their electrical charge. Before then, they're just laying dormant. And then it comes down
And so, because I live in a system, well, white boy done took my manhood. Huh? So that's why when I'm having sex with my woman, I wanted to yell and holler, and I'm trying to get my manhood back. And that wasn't meant for that. Get it, Daddy. Black man is the only man, American black, the only black man on the planet talk about good pussy. What the fuck is good pussy, nigga? What's good pussy? Mildred got some good pussy. Well, she's into her fifth husband. 4 of them didn't think it was that good. What do you know about Mildred that they don't know? And so, consequently, when you look at the human body, when I was a little boy, I'm 85 this year, I was a little boy, I used to hear old men, call their testicles tubalo. Tubalo. So somebody come out and ask most folks what it is. You try to figure it out, you don't know. The sperms live at a temperature 2 below your body's temperature. Simple. But not simple when ignorant folks is trying to figure it out. And so in the summertime, the testicles swing down. That's why the Arabs wear the baggy pants. Huh? In the wintertime, they swing up. If you go home today and get in the bathtub and tell somebody to turn the hot water on, you see your testicles hang down. You say turn the cold water on, you see them pull up. So when the Germans came out with the jockey shorts, that's to sterilize you. Okay? If you look at a baseball game, you see the player and they go down and touch their testicles. They feel something, they don't know what it is. They got a jock strap on, and that's a violation. The universe fixed it so those sperms will live at a body temperature 2 degrees below the body temperature. So in the old days when they made trucks, the reason truck drivers couldn't have children because they put the engine under the seat. Kills the sperms. So then you start saying, wait, something's not right. In America, black men is 4%. 82% of prostitutes.
They might design to sterilize you, but it didn't work. You don't believe me? Ask half of them brothers. They got 47. They played football since they was 9.
Go to that child support line.
Travis Henry and the other Cromartie. Cromartie had 12 kids, about 9 different women. Something happened to his sterilization. I'm just saying.
It's the Keep It Moving show. Thank you for coming back to Keep It Moving show. That was Brother Dick Gregory talking about the sterilization and your nuts hang to cool off and then your nuts shrivel up when it's warm and stuff like that. Let's take some comments. Oh yeah, Sister Aisha in the house. I was just talking about her. Says in a large part, other than the racism and the systemic institutional bigotry is us.
She wrote a thesis?
Here she go. We are always reactionary and we are not unified or organized. Too many of our adult communities are idolatrous. Wait a minute. Idolatrous. Duh. Did I say idolatrous?
Overseas.
And we will not do anything to combat these conditions. Thank you, Sister Aisha. Remember she was here, Sister Aisha and Sister Amy, the Black Panther ladies.
What she think about that comment anyway? That she's saying that we too.
Break it down, because it was a gifted one.
It was. I'm just trying to make sure I get it right. You know.
Well, let me see. Other than racism and systemic
on Facebook, you might want to
institutional
shorten that up a little bit, like it's a Twitter, so because Kim get to read it.
Well, because I think the bottom line, what she was saying is that we're reactionary.
Oh,
You
this
know,
is true.
We're reactionary instead of
Proactive.
Yep.
Okay,
But she says we're not unified nor organized. And too many of our adult communities idolize other things, and we're not going to do anything to combat the condition. Now, I, on the other hand, will say I think we will.
I do too. We are doing.
Yeah, I think we are doing it at this as Sister Aisha and Sister Amy are doing their thing on their end.
Yeah.
The KIM is doing things on her end.
Right.
Roland is doing things on your end.
Yeah.
You're doing the things on your end. The irritated genie. So collectively, we are all doing something. We're just doing it. Individually, collectively, but that's how we have to get started, because if I don't clean my house first, how am I going to come outside of my house and help you clean your ish when mine ain't clean?
That's
so
right.
we have to start somewhere, and our somewhere is ourselves.
So let's all of us go to your house and clean your house. Then all of
Is
us
that
go
what
to
she
your
said?
house.
That's what you got out of that?
And all of y'all go to my house. I'm just saying, let's collectively all go to Kim's house and clean up her ish.
Yeah.
Hey,
Then
we'll,
let's
we'll
all
be finished in 5 minutes.
Right, that's what the Mexicans do.
Oh, okay.
Then let's all go to my house and let's clean up the ish.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, we don't have to have individual growth and progress through individual effort.
Oh,
we can have
okay.
individual growth and progress through
Collectively.
group effort.
Yeah, collectively.
So if all of us, so remember the rent parties we used to have
Yep.
when we was young?
Yeah.
You know, the rent was coming up, and every weekend you went to somebody's house and you took out the basket, they made some fried chicken, and you threw the party, and everybody threw some no damn clubs.
Right.
So you had 75 people in your house, each person brought $5, your rent was paid. Right? Then you did it next week at somebody else's house, next week at somebody else's house. So, yeah, I mean, it's true, but if we collectively work with you as an individual, if you open up a mutual fund and we all collectively stuck some money in your mutual fund and got you started, next month we did it with you, next month we did it with me.
Yeah.
If I took 1 cup of coffee and every black person in America took 1 cup of coffee that week and put it into something that would benefit an entire community, we moved something like $27 million in 1 week.
We could solve a lot of problems.
You know what we would argue about?
What?
Who's first?
That's right.
Who's first? Who gets the first mutual fund? Me? Well, why her?
Right.
Why not me?
Right. So, and if that being the case,
That's where the black leadership comes in.
well, that's what keeps us where we are, because somebody's got to be first.
Somebody's
You
got
can't do everybody. So somebody got to be first. How do you make the determination? You don't. You do like you did do like the what was it, the apostles or the disciples? You draw lots.
Yeah.
Whoever gets the shortest straw, your party's on.
Yeah.
You're up. We ain't got to make no damn decision. Let's do a lottery among
Right.
ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a way to solve that.
That's
There's a way
right.
to solve that.
It's the Keep It Moving show, and time is up. But what I would like to do is I would also, again, like to shout out She Richie. She comes on Sunday nights from 4 p.m.
I need a Pepco
from 2 to
party.
4. No, she comes on Sunday
Look at that
nights at 4:30.
Why you giving it back? I ain't got nothing. I need a Pepco party. He looked at it and gave it back.
Give
to
it
me.
right back. Don't rub that off on me.
That's what mine used to look like that.
You see his face?
Yeah.
Yo, dude, what's up?
But look at this face. This from She Richie.
Yes, I
She's
remember
right
that.
here on elifemedia.net Sunday nights at 4:30. So shout out to She Richie, and I'll be looking forward to speaking with you for candles for my own show and my own business. I also want to shout out MBK Massage Therapy and MBK Massage Therapy and Consulting Services. I also want to shout out to O2 Drops. Also want to shout out to MBK Travel Experiences. That's my new thing. Travel Experiences. I'm into it. So if you guys need to book a vacation somewhere, holla at your girl. Anyway, I'm almost out of here. Remember, I am back next Monday. Oh, wait a minute. I think I may be doing something special this week. I don't know, but I think Reggie, the owner, told me that I'm going to be doing something special. That's why he sent me that clip of me and Isaac Hayes so I can get psyched. I think that's what he did, so I can get psyched.
They say possession is 90% of the law.
That's
and
what
since
they say.
I'm in here for most of the possessions, I'm the owner now.
Yay! Yay, Bubba. But we're up out of here. I also want to thank everything and everybody that worked with Dick Gregory. I want to thank Dick Gregory, although not in person, but I want to thank him for everything that he's done for our.
Don't thank him in person right now, baby.
Yeah.
Now, right now.
Did you know that the
I want you here with us.
No, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. Also, I didn't tell everybody that he died at Sibley Hospital on the 19th of this month here in Washington, D.C. One of my clients is a doctor, cardiologist at Sibley. And so I want to shout out Sibley Hospital, and I'm pretty sure they did what they could to save the brother. But it was his time, and he was ready. So shout out to all the strong American Africans in this country. And, when we come back Monday, hopefully I got something new. I'm working on my intro. Yeah, shout out to Shy Blizzy, because it's getting ready to be dope.
He's going to help me with my Pepco bill.
Dope. Yeah, and he's helping out with gas and electric bills. Woo, we love it. Yeah. It's the Keep It Moving show, yo. I'm out of here. Thank you, Facebook Live. Thank you, WW Land. Thank you, everybody out there that's paying attention. Stay woke, y'all.
Where are you there? I mean, how do you make the sign of the chair? Huh? And so with freedom of speech comes freedom of thought, and with freedom of thought, you ask questions. I was the first black, shamefully, to be permitted to work white nights. Now, let me just tell you so we have to understand what this is. Victor Lyons and Hugh Hefner brought me in. At that time, the mob, the gangsters, the thug, hoodlum, mafioso control most of the nightclubs. And everybody think they bad. Hugh Hefner and Victor Lyons just bad. They did something that the mob was scared to do, was bring in a Negro comic in a white nightclub. And I'm here now. And when I went in, they didn't dictate no theories to me. They didn't say, well, behave yourself, do this here. They looked at me like I was another human being. And ever since that night, I've always had a certain dignity. All you could do until our movement came through. And anytime you go out to that airport,
we continue our post-election analysis, talking to our
Came along just in time, my love. Self-pity had got me down. You saved me from me and from the bottom of my heart. Baby, I owe you something good. You came and you saw, don't you know that you conquered? Whoa, my heart, just like the Romans said to the victors, belong, belong, belong the spoils. Unreluctantly, I submit. My heart told me that I should. So rich was my reward. Baby, I owe you something good. I've but that's all right. I blame myself. What this heart of mine, Lord, to love, to love anyone else. And then you came and rectified all the love this old heart had been denied. Then you saved me like you said you would. Yes, I owe you something good. should. Then you came along and you saved me like you said you would. For this, I owe you something good.
Free your mind and your ass will follow. Would you like to dance with me? We are doing the cosmic slop.
That she was catching me.